I've been trying to figure out what to do about Parkour Civilization for a while. I feel like it would be the perfect SkyBoy video topic, but I'm not that interested in it, and I feel like by the time I actually make it, it's not going to be relevant. So instead, I'm just going to do it in the form of a commentary. When Evo first started, he started out with these 100 days type series, which is really interesting that he started with series because modern Minecraft YouTube doesn't have any of those really. He was like, I'm just going to make it even if people tell me it won't do well. And then at one point, he made a random sort of skit type video that was scripted, and that did insanely well. So he switched entirely to the skits, and he actually did a really old episodic skit series, just kind of like Parkour Civilization. And then he alternated between that and one-off skits and just like various series. Like he had a bunch of series before Parkour Civilization caught on, and I find that really interesting. This is not his first try. And his content in general is also very similar to what Exploding TNT used to post, and I think it's really interesting, like, clearly there was a gap in the market and Evbo happened to be there at the right time. Or it was intentional, but I don't necessarily know if I want to give him that much credit. But Parkour Civilization itself is the most interesting of his content to me because people make a lot of scripted series and Evbo is the only one to have this level of success with it. And honestly, his is one of the least impressive, like narratively and visually. It's kind of at first seems weird that his is the one that succeeded so much, but I feel like I might know why. So his obviously targets a pretty young audience primarily, which is just so much bigger than pretty much any other Minecraft audience. And it's scripted, so usually scripted videos are pretty hard to make titles and thumbnails for. Like, what do you say? Hey guys, the story's really good, trust me. It doesn't work. But Evbo found a way around this by making his scripted content just packaged like they're real events that happened to him and his core audience of kids, which I'm not saying that's his only audience, but it's like the core one he's targeting. Doesn't really think critically and they're just gonna click it and enjoy the video once they click it anyway. It may seem a little like dishonest that he's packaging his scripted videos as real, but for one, I think it only really seems real if you're 7. And on top of that, like, it's not his fault if a kid sees he became a god and then uncritically thinks that sounds interesting and just mindlessly clicks it. Like, I don't think he's trying to fool anyone, and I doubt kids would even say they were fooled by it. I think that that's just like kind of how children's media needs to be made in order to succeed, at least on YouTube. Evo seems like he just genuinely enjoys writing stories and also genuinely likes Minecraft, and through making Minecraft videos, he's combined those interests and gotten really good at writing stories that can be best told in Minecraft. It's a very specific skill. So because of that, by the time Parkour Civilization caught on, he was already pretty damn good at making stories. Side note, I think if he released a book, it would probably sell well. But it's also interesting to me, like, why did it catch on? Like, what caused this? I think it succeeded initially because it's just really silly to like unironically be watching a Minecraft lore series and be like really into it because his writing is genuinely good. But then the longevity after the fact of like after it became a meme, specifically in like the gay Tumblr fan fiction side of the internet, is really interesting to me. For whatever reason, just these people really like Parkour Civilization and love writing gay fan fictions about it. These communities are also like 99.99999% girls. Like, I've never met a guy who likes gay fan fiction. I'm sure there's a few, but for whatever reason, girls are just way more likely to get invested in this kind of thing. And I don't feel like I'm in a position to say why. I mean, I don't read gay FBO fan fiction, although my girlfriend does. So I don't think I can say with any degree of confidence why people continue to write it. I do think it's interesting though, the audience of Parkour Civilization appears to have quite a lot of overlap with like the old Dream SMP audience, or at least they function and act in a similar way. I don't know if it's the same people, but it's the same sort of appeal. But yeah, it seems like Evbo has been making this kind of content for a while and just accidentally made something that triggered the Tumblr stan audience. I think they're interested in it because they can like really extrapolate these characters Evbo has created into like other situations. Like, oh, how would they act during this? How would they act during like a confrontation with this character or during gay sex? And then obviously Evbo saw Parkour Civilization was doing well and he made PvP Civilization to follow it up. And I genuinely don't think there's much more to say. Like, I think he just wanted to follow up what was working. Yeah, it's an interesting case, especially that it's caught on like this mainstream. Mostly the meme is caught on mainstream, and that's about it. Like, the stan community is relatively small in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed. This is kind of vaguely what I'd talk about if I made a proper video on this. So hopefully this scratches the itch for like the 50 people who commented on my Civilizations video asking about it.